How you doing? My name is Niamh Phelan, and this is a short tutorial on how to set up Google Analytics on your website. The purpose of this tutorial is that you would have Google Analytics set up by the time you attend an analytics course at Bootcamp 2009. So you start by going to google.com/analytics, and you hit the small sign up now link that is under the blue Access Analytics button. Now at this point you are going to sign into your Google account, which will in turn allow you to sign into your Google Analytics account. I'm going to go through the process of setting up a Google account for those of you who don't already have a Google account. Now it's a common misconception that a Google account actually has to be a Gmail account. That's not true. You can set up a Google account with any email address. It's probably best to use your corporate email address, as you are likely to be doing corporate type work with this account. So enter your corporate email address, choose a password, fill out the CAPTCHA, agree to the terms of service, and create your Google account. You'll notice now I have been automatically signed in to my Google account up in the top right there, and I'm given the opportunity now to sign up for a Google Analytics account. So it's very simple to set up a Google Analytics account. You have to put in simply your URL, that is your main domain, something like www.example.com. You'll give the account a name. By default it will again be the domain name of your site, but you can change that to any name you like. You select your country of origin. This is important because there's time of day reports in Google Analytics, and it's nice to get the right time of day in them. And you hit continue. Now there's an opportunity now to provide contact details. I don't recall ever being contacted on these contact details that you provide, but best to provide reliable details, because if Google were to contact you using these details, it's probably going to be an important matter. And at this point then you accept the Google Analytics terms of service. The important point in the terms of service is that you are not allowed in Google Analytics to store down any personally identifiable information. It is clause 6 in the terms of service, and is extremely important. At no point should anybody's email address or user ID or similar be stored down to Google Analytics. You have by default selected that you're going to take part in the Google Analytics data sharing, which allows you benchmark against other companies in your industry. For a competitive industry, I would be inclined to opt out of the data sharing. It's something you can opt into later at a later date if it is something you want to take part in, but for security reasons I'd be inclined to opt out of that. And then you're brought to a screen with your tracking code there selected in blue. You'll see the new version of the tracking code by default, and you'll see a second tab which is the older version of the tracking code that's still in use in some cases, but there's no particular reason you should ever need to use that. If you're setting up a new account, I would always go with the new version of the tracking code. Then you need to copy your tracking code and put it onto every page of your website. I'm showing an example here on the IQ content site. You put the tracking code immediately prior to the closing body tag. This ensures that the tracking code is the last thing executed on the page, and if there's any delay in executing the Google Analytics code, it will not delay the loading of the page. It's quite likely you can do this using your CMS or by means of a footer, which will save you tagging each page individually, and you'll be able to tag all the pages on your site very quickly. Probably within 20 minutes you should have your account up and running and your site tagged. You might want to copy and paste your tracking code into a notepad file, for future use. It is accessible at any time through Google Analytics, but you are likely to be using it shortly for tagging the site, so I find it helpful to save it off to a text file. Let's just save it here, trackingcode.txt. Returning to Google Analytics now. As I mentioned earlier, there is an older version of the tracking code there, the legacy tracking code. And if for any reason you want to use the older version of the tracking code, then it's this code that you copy and paste into the source of your site, as opposed to the ga.js code that I demonstrated already. So if you just hit continue there, you will be brought to the analytics settings screen of Google Analytics. There is your one profile that you have set up so far, w.example.com, and you'll notice there's a yellow exclamation mark under status currently, and that's because I haven't actually tagged any site with that tracking code. Once you've tagged your site with the tracking code, I would expect for that yellow exclamation mark to change, and you could hit view report at that stage, and you would start to see interesting data in your account. This often takes between 2 to 3 hours following first tagging your site. However, I wouldn't get worried until a day later, and if there's no data a day later, then it's likely that there is a problem with your account. There will be special cases for people with subdomains, or if they want to track multiple domains in the one account. That's something we can talk about at Bootcamp. So I look forward to seeing you all at Bootcamp. I should make the point that if you are choosing to use a different analytics tool, then you should still come to Bootcamp, because you will be able to avail of a lot of the theory, which will be similar, and a lot of the KPI work, etc., would be similar. They would just be measured with a different tool, and you're still welcome to attend the course. So I'd just like to thank you very much for listening to this tutorial, and I'm happy to take any questions at niamh.phelan@iqcontent.com, and I look forward to seeing you at Bootcamp. Thank you very much.